Hey friends, Ehrica here from Milestone Mom, and welcome back. This is video 2 of a 5-part series that I'm doing on babies' sleep. Now the first one that I did was called The Science of Baby Sleep. This one is called Common Baby Sleep Problems and How to Solve Them. So if you want to find any video in this series, like I said, there's 5. You can look at the description under this YouTube video. I will have all of them there, or you can just go to my YouTube channel, Milestone Mom, and click on playlists, and you'll see a playlist on baby sleep. So those are the 2 easiest ways to find these. They don't go in any order. So if number 5 stands out to you versus number 2, then feel free to kind of skip around because they really don't go in any order. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into this video on common baby sleep problems. Now, I know that parenting a baby can be one of the most rewarding experiences ever, but it also comes with challenges, especially when it comes to sleep. Many parents themselves struggle with common sleep issues such as sleep regression, catnapping, and early morning wake-ups. These disruptions can lead to exhaustion for both babies and parents. But with the right strategies and a little patience, you can address these problems and establish healthy, long-term sleep habits, which is one of the reasons we are doing this series. Now, in this video, we'll explore the most common baby sleep problems, and I'll offer practical solutions to help your baby and you get the rest that you need. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about what a sleep regression is. So, sleep regressions are temporary periods when a baby who was previously sleeping well suddenly starts waking up frequently during the night or struggling to fall asleep. These regressions usually occur during developmental leaps when babies are learning new skills, such as rolling over, crawling, or talking. Now, common sleep regressions occur at 4 months, 8 to 10 months, and typically around 18 months. Sleep regressions can be frustrating because they often appear just when you think your baby has settled into a good sleep routine. And I will talk more about the sleep regressions and why it's happening at each one of those stages. However, it is important to remember that these are normal and usually very temporary. Okay, so let's move on to how to handle sleep regressions. Now, I've got 3 tips for you here. Number 1, I cannot stress this enough. I want you to stick to your routine. Now, while it might be tempting to change your baby's routine to get them to sleep better, consistency is key. Now, bedtime routines that are consistent, even when sleep becomes difficult, a familiar routine helps signal to your baby that it's time to sleep. Okay, number 2, I want you to provide comfort, but avoid creating sleep associations. So, what I mean by that is, during a sleep regression, your baby may wake up more frequently looking for comfort. And during these times, I want you to offer reassurance, but try not to introduce new sleep associations like rocking or feeding your baby to sleep. As this can become a habit, instead, I want you to soothe your baby in their crib to encourage independent sleep, especially if this is something that they've been able to do on their own to self-soothe to go back to sleep. Okay, and I'm looking down here at my notes if you're wondering. The 3rd thing, I want you to be patient. Sleep regressions can last anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. Now, the important thing is to stay consistent and patient, knowing that this is a phase that will pass as your baby adjusts to their new developmental skills. Remember, your baby is growing and learning, and sometimes these sleep regressions are an indication of that, which I will talk about more in the sleep regression video. Okay, we just talked about sleep regression, which is typically one of the most common problems that parents face. Another one is how to extend naps for better daytime rest. So let's go ahead and talk about cat napping. You might have a child, a little one, who likes to cat nap. So cat napping is typically when a baby takes shorter naps, typically lasting 30 to 45 minutes or even shorter, without getting into a deep, more restorative stage of sleep. So short naps can actually leave baby feeling cranky and overtired, and often struggle to make it through the day without getting fussy. It can also be frustrating for parents when they put their baby down for a long nap and within, a few minutes, maybe they're waking up. Catnapping is especially common in newborns and younger babies. So, what are some ways that you can extend naps? I have 4 tips for you that we'll go ahead and go over. Okay, so even for nap time, make sure you're creating a sleep-inducing environment. This encourages longer naps. Set up a sleep-friendly environment in the room. It should be dark, quiet, and cool. You can use a white noise machine to help your baby to relax and fall asleep. Make sure you're establishing a nap time routine. Again, this is just as important as a bedtime routine. This can help your baby prepare for nighttime sleep. A nap routine can cue your baby that it's time to rest during the day. A consistent routine such as reading a book, dimming the lights, and offering a pacifier, if your baby takes a pacifier, can signal to your baby that nap time is approaching. Now, number 3, I want you to offer soothing at just the right time. And what I mean by that is if your baby wakes up after only about 30 minutes of sleep, wait a few minutes before immediately going into them. They might resettle on their own, self-soothe. If they do remain awake, go in and offer some gentle reassurance without fully waking them up. Sometimes babies just need a little extra help learning how to transition between sleep cycles. And then number 4, check wake windows. And what this means is that babies have an optimal wake window. So this is the amount of time they can be awake before they get overtired. A baby who is overtired will struggle to fall asleep and even stay asleep. Pay attention to your baby's age-appropriate wake windows and make sure that you are putting them down for a nap before they become too tired. For example, a 4 to 6 month old baby typically has a wake window of 2 to 2.5 hours. Moving on, another problem that I've dealt with in my business with families is dealing with early morning wake-ups. So early morning wake-ups usually happens between 4 and 6 a.m. These are common issues that many parents actually face, and it can be frustrating when your baby wakes up bright and early, especially when you're hoping for a bit more sleep. However, early wake-ups often occur for a few reasons, including light exposure, hunger, or your baby's internal clock being misaligned. So how do we handle early morning wake-ups? Well, I've got 4 tips for you. The first one is block out early morning light. As babies grow, they become more sensitive to light cues, which helps regulate their internal clocks. If sunlight is creeping into your baby's room in the early morning, it can signal to them that it's time to wake up. Invest in some blackout curtains to block out natural light and keep the room dark until it's appropriate and you are ready for them to wake up. So number 2, something you could do is adjust bedtime. Now remember, these are only tips and you have to do what is right for your family. Sometimes early wake-ups are caused by an overtired baby. So if your baby isn't getting enough sleep at night, they may wake up earlier in the morning as their body tries to catch up on rest. So in this case, try moving bedtime earlier by 15 to 30 minutes to see if it helps extend morning sleep. It never fails, even with my little one who is 5. If I let them stay up on the weekend, for some reason, they're getting up earlier the next day. I don't know what it is. Okay, next I want you to avoid early morning feedings. No, I don't want you to starve your baby. But if this is something that they are kind of starting to do and they can hold off a little bit before it's time to eat, then I would not allow them to get in the habit of eating at 4 or 5 in the morning. Okay, and then number 4 is teach independent sleep. So independent sleep is the key to solving early wake-ups. If your baby has learned how to fall asleep on their own at bedtime, they are more likely to resettle themselves if they wake up early in the morning. Try to avoid going to your baby immediately when they wake up early, giving them the chance to self-soothe. Okay guys, we're getting there. So now let's talk about creating consistent sleep routines. And again, I have 4 ideas that I'd like to give you. So the first one is set a consistent bedtime. Having a regular bedtime helps regulate your baby's internal clock. So try to choose a bedtime that allows your baby to get the recommended amount of sleep for their age, usually 10 to 12 hours at night. Stick to this bedtime even on weekends or when your schedule changes. Number 2, establish a bedtime routine. A calming bedtime routine can help signal to your baby that it's time to wind down. Include activities like a warm bath, a gentle massage, reading a book, or singing a lullaby. Keep the routine short and simple, just to about 15 to 30 minutes, and do it in the same order every night to build a sense of familiarity. Number 3, again, I want you to watch for sleep cues. I talked about this in one of the other videos. Every baby has unique sleep cues that indicate when they're ready for bed. Now, some common sleep cues could be yawning, rubbing their eyes, becoming fussy, or staring off into space. Paying attention to these cues will help you put your baby down for sleep when they're tired, but not yet overly tired, which can make it harder for them to settle down. Number 4, I want you to be consistent with naps. Now remember, nap time and catnapping can be a common problem for parents. So having a consistent nap routine is very, very important. Just like nighttime sleep, naps should follow a consistent schedule. And I've mentioned this before. Try to stick to the same nap schedule each day and ensure your baby's wake windows are appropriate for their age. A consistent nap schedule will help your baby stay well rested and make it easier for them to fall asleep at night. Okay guys, we've made it to the end of this video. This is video number 2 of a series of 5 videos. Again, you can find that in the playlist section on my YouTube channel, Milestone Mom, or just in the description below. I will have all of the videos linked, as well as a free printable that goes along with this sleep series. So finally, I always leave you with something like this. Just remember the importance of patience and persistence, and you'll get there. Baby sleep problems like sleep regressions, catnapping, early morning wake-ups are very common challenges that nearly every parent faces. While these issues can feel overwhelming at times, they are temporary and manageable with the right approach. By staying consistent with routines, understanding your baby's sleep needs, and implementing practical solutions, you can help your baby develop healthy sleep habits that will last a lifetime. Remember, like I said, patience and persistence are key to solving sleep problems. But with your consistency, you'll start seeing improvements in your baby's sleep patterns. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. I will see you in the next video.